Hello and welcome to,
Hey, we like your pod.
and we're going to tell you why. Hi, it's Dawn here, and I'm joined as always by my trusted partner, Matt Pickett. How you doing, Maddie?
Pretty good. Having like an interesting hair day. I noticed on camera here, it's like, I don't know, it's got a shape to it tonight that is not typical. So loving that. How am I doing, Dawn? Dawn, I'm riding the high from last weekend's victory, not even victory, stomping over the Cowboys. It's been a great week. Just with that alone has fueled me. The vibes are immaculate here in Cincinnati for me. So how are you doing?
I love it. It's the same. It's the same, and I'm just thinking, since we've had this podcast a few years now, this is the first time we've seen our favorite team, the Green Bay Packers, actually have that game. That game where they just dominated, played so well in every single phase, and just not like, what a time to have it during the play. Like, the timing couldn't be more perfect. The team is peaking at the right time, but it was like, that's the game we've been waiting for so long for. It was just hard to believe. I couldn't even form words. I was so excited. I couldn't believe it.
And plus, not just a victory, not just a timely victory, all those things, of course, and an exciting way for the season to kind of turn, but also keeping our streak of never losing at Jerry World alive. Keeping our record of dominance over the Cowboys for the last several matchups. I think this is now 10 out of the last 11 we've won now. Like, just keeping that streak going, that's beautiful. And like, it's also nice that Mike McCarthy didn't lose his job over this, which I mean, I would have felt a little bad about that because I still do like Mike McCarthy. How do you not have a spot in your heart for him? So it all kind of worked out perfectly.
Yeah. So is it official? I was kind of looking around briefly. I didn't have much time today to, I think I'm going to have a little bit of a cough tonight, so I apologize in advance for that. So is it official? He's staying? Is it?
Yeah, it was announced that he'll be returning for his last year. Jerry Jones had officially declared that McCarthy will that it was like, McCarthy will be back next year. But it kind of, I don't know, it kind of rang to me like, we're going to let him back for the last year of his contract. It kind of, there's a little flavor of that for the way but I might be reading into it. I don't know. But he'll be back. He'll be back next year. So
good. I'm glad to hear that. That's some good news I didn't know about today. So thank you for that. I have a little superlative regarding that matter in my superlatives tonight too. Not a content creator, but I couldn't help it because Mike McCarthy was the Green Bay Packers coach for 15 years or so. It was a long time.
Keep talking. I'll look it up to get you the right number. But
right, it was either 15 or 16 years, and and there's a street named after him in Green Bay, and of course he won a Super Bowl as our coach in 2010. So we have feelings for Mike, and nobody we've been on the other end of being drubbed, bludgeoned by a team as well and taken by surprise. So it's not a fun feeling, and I kind of felt bad for him. He seemed to be taking it well on the sidelines. He didn't look as shocked as I know they all were feeling. So I also love that we broke their streak of winning at home.
That too, I forgot about that one. Yes,
games in a row at home, and it was like, so many reasons that they were expected to win. And I was hoping for a good game. I was hoping for a close game. I was, of course, hoping for a win. I was not in any way expecting that. That was crazy.
When Darnell Savage got the pick six and it was like 27-0, I was just sitting going like, what is going on? Like, this is amazing. I had
I
no
know.
words down. I was just like out of my mind.
Same.
It was like an out of body experience, right? You know, like I'm
Yeah.
hovering outside of my body, watching this happening in disbelief that this is like the reality I'm living in. Yeah. Yeah. It was
No, I'm
crazy.
glad you said that. And then when you just said it, I started laughing. I was laughing an awful
Yeah.
lot. Like I
Yes.
was, and that's what I do when I don't know what else to do. I laugh a lot anyway, but I was just just laughing. And I have like a mini superlative. I called it a bonus, but it's not really a superlative. It's my mother. It goes to best mom, content creator mom. She's 88 years old, and she pulls up in the group chat, in the
Mhm.
group family group game chat that we all have when we have family abroad and around the country. And she pulls up with this GIF. It was of her actually somehow. I don't know.
What?
And it was slamming the front door, like shut the front door. She didn't say anything. It was
Mhm.
just like
Your mom's just out here making GIFs.
my mom's out there making a GIF, slamming the front door, no words, drop the mic, just classic mother. I mean,
Wow.
my mother is
That's impressive.
hilarious. She's something else. So I want to say that because I've laughed about that every day since. I'm like, oh my God, I just think about it and it's like, oh my God, my mother, did somebody coach her? No, she just picks up on what the kids are doing.
Shout out to Dawn's mom. That's awesome.
I try to, I know we have so many layers of generations with those who follow us. Myself, we're a generation apart, and then and so I try to stay somewhat hip, but I know I'm not really that hip. But it's kind of fun to see her just continuing to stay that way and never losing it. My parents were really cool, and my dad's gone now, but my mom's still cool. But that was just my little superlative for my
Love
mother.
Love it.
Shut the front door. Like, oh. At first, I was like, did she really do that? Like, does she know what shut the front door means? And I had to think about it. I was like, where did she come up with it? So what is it? Have we a consensus? 15 or 16 years for Mike McCarthy?
12 plus years. He didn't quite finish his 13th year, like finished all the way to the year number 13.
12?
So,
okay.
Yep, 12 and a half ish, kind of.
I thought it was more than that. Okay.
I would have guessed more than that. We would have been wrong. Oh, well.
That's okay. It's
Yep.
okay. As I always say, we don't come to me for football facts because I don't know anything. I'm just here for the feels.
There you go.
So hello, Iowa Joe, and hey, Katie. Pure
friends.
domination. I mean, wow.
Yeah, it was wall to wall. Put the second string in before the game's even over, and take them off
Yeah.
the first string in again.
I know.
But on both sides of the ball, I mean, to do that again, I mean, he LaFleur apologized about it later, of course, but just the fact that like you could even think to do that at that point in the game just says what a ridiculous domination it was.
Yeah,
I still can't believe it. Dusty was talking on Pack a Day about how like it's a game that he'll go back and watch probably many times in the coming years, and that's a great idea because just what a fun game to put on. What a fun game to have happen, especially Jordan Love's first year as a starter, getting an almost perfect passer rating. I mean, just everything about it. It's just we could go on for probably a couple of hours just gushing about that game. It was so great.
It was, but it was so good for the organization. It was so good for the team, to build them, to have them build from that and out of this last season of roller coasters of what you have with a new team or young team and, all the records that were broken. It was kind of mind blowing, but I just love what it did for just the whole reset. Like I want to call it a reset now because it's over. And I mean, we're seeing Matt LaFleur's coaching finally playing out, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
For real, because who was it? Stenovich, I think, was talking about how like Rodgers would check to his own things, which breaks up what the flow of the Shanahan like building a play upon a play upon a play, and how that like is sort of it's almost you build a narrative with the game plan with the way how the Shanahan offense like set up other plays, So when you have that thread being disrupted by like Rodgers going off script, yeah, you're really not seeing the LaFleur offense. It really is like
No.
this like weird hybrid, and like it worked a lot of the time, but it also wasn't, using it was Rodgers wasting LaFleur's prime is what it was,
I think
So
so. Yeah.
um so to see now like how it actually is supposed to work and what a masterclass LaFleur
Hmm.
can put on in play calling, especially now that the receivers are on the same page, with Love, that everything's clicking on the offense. It's it's
It's
it's
a
it's a beautiful thing. It's a joy to behold, right?
it's so exciting. It's so exciting. And I called it in my own little world, the beginning of the Matt LaFleur era. We now can officially say we are in the Matt LaFleur era of coaching because we can actually see what he's doing. You
Mhm.
know, he's not being overshadowed. And yeah, so it's really great. It was super fun, just super fun. And maybe we can do the same thing this week. It's a short week.
It's
That's a lot
possible.
to ask.
We're
Yeah.
coming up against a very rusty team because they also like rested their starters in the last week of the regular season. So
I know, like
think
3
about how the
weeks.
Packers have looked with that same situation.
Mhm. Yeah,
Not always so good, So
right,
I
right.
think Katie makes a good point. Actually, a few good points I want to highlight that Katie made here already in the chat. But she says that she's not getting my hopes up. She's not going to get her hopes up for Saturday. Just going to
Sure.
enjoy the ride, and that is the vibe right now. It's just like this is just
Yeah,
great. Just enjoying
yeah.
this. This is so much fun. I'm not going to say I'll get my hopes up, but I'm going to say I think we have a chance, and I think the spread set at like 9.5 points is kind of ridiculous. Like
It's
it's kind of
well,
rude. It's kind of disrespectful.
mm,
But I don't know. I mean, if if the offense keeps clicking the way it is, if we can score in every drive, which is a tall order, I realize. If we score in, nearly or every drive,
mhm.
then it's just a shootout. And if our defense can do something at least once or twice, we could win. It could happen. And with our offense being good as it was in the last game, if it keeps rolling like that, I like our chances. I
Things happen, things happen. No, and I feel the same way. I mean, I felt that way about the Cowboys game. I was like, I don't want to get too vibed up about possibly winning, but the little that I know, I could tell that it would come down to Matt LaFleur being able to to really outcoach Mike McCarthy
Mhm.
because and from what I picked up on was that Mike McCarthy, and I remember this being the complaint back in the day when he was a coach for Green Bay, which when I really wasn't paying that much attention at all, but that he doesn't have that many um tools in his toolbox. He's
Mhm.
kind of got like a go-to. And so
Yeah.
I was thinking just on my own that, yeah, well, that seems like a recipe for disaster against the floor because he's known to be so creative. And
Yeah,
then the
exactly.
other, yeah, and then the other thing on that is that for many years, you know how San Francisco does so well, but they don't really have a star quarterback, right? And I mean, they have a quarterback who does what to how they're coached to play, and they
Yeah.
don't, yeah,
Extremely
go
well.
rogue,
Yeah.
very well, and they don't go rogue necessarily. And so the question would always have was for me is if we ever got a quarterback who was good and played within Matt's coaching system, whatever that might be for that given Sunday or Saturday in this case, and then we will actually see what what the 49ers might be missing by having a really good quarterback
Mhm.
and that kind of coaching. So, of course, they have other really great star players too, where they spread their
Yes.
money out.
Mhm.
So, but I just think it's just going to be fascinating to see that play out, not just Saturday, but in the next few years, now that we know what we're dealing with the Packers.
Yeah. And so
Yeah.
Katie keeps saying stuff in the chat here that either was thinking or was going to say. She same wavelength tonight, Katie. So something that she put in the chat I really like. She said, "I think Saturday will come down to making Purdy beat us. I think we can
Right.
rattle him. We shall see." And I think that's so true. I think we're going to
Right.
be able to kind of go toe to toe, and it's going to come down to, I think, can Purdy keep up? And maybe this is the game where he kind of, he has before, kind of lays an egg. I mean, every quarterback does sometimes, I realize,
Sure.
but you know, it's gonna. I think
Hmm.
it's going to come down to like, can he stay on top of it? Can he stay consistent, especially with some
Hmm.
rust coming into the game? I don't know. But there's a question I wanted to
Right.
ask you actually that Katie brought up again. Katie in the chat here. Katie, we love
Hey,
you so much. She
Katie.
said in the chat, I will say it a million times. After that Wicks touchdown, I know Love is going to be special. Um, can't stop watching it. So yeah, I wanted to ask
Yeah.
you tonight here, as this came up also on speaking of the Pack a Day Wednesday. I'm
Mhm.
going to ask you on at what point for you was it like, oh, we've got a quarterback, like we've got a dude, like I mean, not even necessarily just this game, but like any point this season, like when for you was it like, yeah, oh my goodness, we have a real quarterback here.
I mean, I think I already felt that way before the Cowboys game. I
Mhm.
mean, obviously the Cowboys game was just like a fireworks show in a way. It was just like,
It was
wow,
totally.
you know. But I even felt it like I don't know at what point. And I have a superlative that's kind of goes along with that. Let me jump right into it, okay?
Go for it. Go for it. Early
Yeah,
superlative.
yeah, why not? Why not? It's because it's kind of fitting. And this is a really cool thought that Justice Moscato put out on the Pack a Day episode that I think you're also calling out for a different reason. It's Pack a Day with Andy Herman, his YouTube channel, and I actually have a little video clip, and I called it the most futuristic retrospect because I couldn't think of the word for when you're looking backwards in 5 years. But let's just play this real quick because he had some thoughts about that. Whoops.
If I'm looking back at this game 5 years from now and Love looks like he's one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL, I think I look back at this game as the moment that I realized, like, oh, Love's potential, like his ceiling is even higher than I thought.
Right.
Well said. Yeah.
Right. And I just felt like that was really the whole game. Like, I think we're all going to look back at this game many, many, many times, not just that one play or another, but I mean, of course, that throw, it just makes me laugh. I can't help it. I just
Mhm.
can't. It just makes me happy. So I don't know. I can't say that I can answer that about that game because I was just literally in shock the whole time. And I will say the first couple of plays there, the first couple of minutes, I was a little nervous. I mean, the Cowboys didn't look like they were going to give us a fight. I mean, like they should. And
Mhm.
then I don't know what happened. It was just like, what happened? I can't believe this is happening. And listening to Wayne and Larry was great. But I mean, do you think the Cowboys blew it, or did we just play better? Like,
I think both can be true because I feel like all week, going into it, it was, the Cowboys are too strong a team for the Packers to match. Like they're too good. And coming out of it, it's like, oh, the Cowboys were really bad. It's like, no, the Packers are also really good. Like, let's not discount that. That's an important part of this equation.
Sure.
So I think it's both things, Dawn, because, looking at the way how Dak and CeeDee Lamb were sort of like communicating, like in a really like something was off with them. And I don't know what it was. I don't know if anyone knows what it is outside of those two guys, but there's some weird stuff on the sidelines and their body language, and they're sort of like, I don't know, because I mean, you've talked a lot about like reading body language before, of course, in this podcast, and I think you could really read into that. So I think that was part of it. I think anytime a team gets punched in the mouth, like they did, because we came out and scored and took up half the first quarter, it's hard to come back from that for sure. And they didn't, and then we just kept punching them over and over again, Yeah. And with like we knew their run defense was like a little sus coming into it as well, and LaFleur and Aaron Jones exploited that. So I think they really just felt like we don't have answers for this, So I think it just got to a point where there was just too much momentum, and they tried to come back late, but like it was just too far gone at that point, to even really realistically have a chance of salvaging it for them. So I think they fell apart. I think they didn't play anywhere near their potential, but I also think that's because we played so good.
Right. Gotcha. Yeah. Well, it started out like, okay, they're gonna, but it seems like it fell apart so fast.
Yeah. Yes.
And you would have expected, even if it's hard to say it, 27-0 at the half. I mean, you would have thought they'd come back. Did we throw first, or did they?
So it was 27-7 at the half, and so they got the ball first, and they got that field goal. So it's 27-10 after the first drive of the second.
Right.
Then we got a touchdown right away.
Yeah, and we held them to a field goal. Right. Jordan Love was off the field for a long time
Mhm.
Yeah, that whole
Yep.
that last 7 points that they got, then the field goal. Yeah, okay, and the halftime. Yeah, it was hard to say. Like because I watch as many games as I can, and I've been watching the Cowboys to see how they're doing because obviously they've been doing well this year, and they seem pretty solid.
Yeah.
And yeah,
They were
so
really
to
good this
me, it
year.
just had to
Yeah.
be coaching. It was all coaching. I heard some stuff about CeeDee Lamb and Dak too. That's kind of weird. That's kind of
Mhm.
weird. Not a good time to have a problem with your teammate. Come on,
No.
come on.
Absolutely the worst time. Yeah.
Mm, all right. Well, yeah, so I can't honestly say when I knew Jordan Love. I think I knew at the Bears game for sure. I mean, and
The first one or the second one?
the second when we
Week
got
one. Jordan
we
loves the
got
guy.
into the yeah, that's true. And in the Lions game, I mean, he's been doing so well the last 6 games of the regular season. So
At least. I mean, I feel like
yeah,
since the Steelers game, which we lost, remember? I think
yeah.
since the Steelers game, it's been like, wait a minute, he's putting stuff together, and the wide receivers are figuring it out, and the tight ends
Hmm.
and the running backs, the whole offense.
Hmm.
There
Everything
was
just clicked. It just
yeah,
clicked.
it just
Like
clicked.
everything was going wrong. It was like, why is everything? How many little things can keep
Mhm,
going wrong? Like
mhm.
it was crazy because it was there even when they were doing poorly, right?
Yeah,
It was just like a lot of like really little things. So I always believed they would pull it together. I'm
I
such an
hoped.
optimistic person. Yeah.
I can't say I believed in it, but
Right.
yeah,
Right.
clicked is right. It was weird because it was like something clicking in place, and
Hmm.
you know, it's what am I trying to say, Don? I'm trying to say that it was crazy how it did come together. Oh, I know. Sorry, I had a train of thought. I just kind of jumped off it for a second.
All right.
So if Rodgers were still the quarterback, and this was how the season started, I don't think it would have been righted because I think he would have forced it and just tried to like throw the ball to like the same 2 people because we still have Alan Lazard, and he wouldn't
Right.
have like figured out how to make it work with the people he has, and he wouldn't have gotten on the same page with them. I mean, I'm not here to just like trash talk Aaron Rodgers, even though we seem to
That would
from
be
time to time.
fun. Yeah.
It
Why
just
not?
seems like part of the reason why it's working so well is because of the energy that Jordan Love brings to it and the more like team based approach that they have right now. I mean, I forget where this was said. I heard about it in a podcast, but somebody basically said that it's not like a me offense now; it's a we offense
Yeah.
because the receivers, they're also like happy for each other when somebody has a good game. Like when Bo Melton had his breakout game a few weeks back, like all the other receivers are so excited for him, and it wasn't about like like
Hmm.
Jane Reed being like, I didn't have as big a game like this last week.
Right.
He's like, sorry for people if I ruined your parlays. I don't care. We balled out. It was awesome.
Right.
So yeah, I mean the whole entire attitude, the vibe, the team spirit, team approach, the we thing,
We fence.
we fence. This
That's what
somebody
Matt's been calling it.
I know. Well, I think they usually isn't that what they call the special teams actually.
I think so.
That's a special teams thing, but
it works. It works because offense, defense. Yeah, it works.
I saw somebody on Twitter. I think it might have been Ben. Lambo Labo might have said that for him, this is his favorite Packers team, maybe
Aw.
ever. And I was thinking about that. I think it was Ben who said that. I was thinking about that, and it's like, yeah, I think I agree. I think I agree. This might be my favorite Packers team we've had.
Yay. I mean, it's a great time and then just to think that we went and we saw Jordan Love at his home opener and they pulled that win out. And remember the excitement on the field and
yeah.
Oh, I mean, it's like anything we could have asked for as fans, it's so much more tasty, I guess, because we went through not just the roller coaster of the season with a young team getting their act together, but all the drama the last few years since Jordan Love has been drafted. So it's just been like, oh, this is so like everything was worth it.
Yeah. The drama's gone. We knew it felt like it was there. The team is past like not having together. We've seen like the lows. We went through the lows, and for it to be all just like in the past at this point, we're on the highs right now.
So great.
Oh, Dawn. So great.
Oh,
So
so
great.
good to talk to you about this. I'm glad it's kind of fun that we don't have a guest because we can just blab about this game all night long.
So I wonder if I
So
get an assist from the chat here, actually.
yes, and hello to Bill.
Yeah, what
Nice
up,
to
Bill?
see you.
Thanks for coming by, man. Side note, for those who don't know, Bill's the guy who does the Packers Reddit Twitter account, which is one of the best follows out there, because it's good to see like what kind of stuff is happening out on a different platform. So really value that, Bill. Do great work, man. I was gonna say, I would like an assist from the chat here, because I was trying to remember, like we were talking here, Don, about like when did we know Love was the guy. There was a extraordinarily tight window throw touchdown that he threw like early in the season, maybe around the midpoint, maybe a little past that. I can't remember what the game was or who he threw it to, but it was like there was this one throw. It was just like this big a window right to the receiver. And that was when I was like, oh my God, like that's not every quarterback who can do that. And that was when I was starting to believe at that point.
Yeah.
You know, and I feel like he's like full on Jedi now, full on third movie of Star Wars, Luke Skywalker, you know?
Yeah. I think that's probably a good point too, because it's been so many different little sparks of light. Like I just have liked I've just liked him so much throughout. He's very likable.
The whole team's likable.
He's just like, I've been rooting for him, in my deepest heart, without being able to say anything, because I was like happy when he was drafted, and I mean, I didn't think, oh, they're gonna fire Aaron Rodgers. I wasn't happy for that reason. I was just like, this is cool. I've heard good things about him. Matt LaFleur liked him, and Matt LaFleur said in one of his press conferences, it might have been the one right after the game, that he was looking back at his notes about Jordan Love when they drafted him, because he had taken notes on different quarterbacks that they might draft, and he wrote down that he was, I want to say something like a good guy, like a nice person or something along those lines.
Seems
right.
Like
and he is, and his family, from what we know, is nice. And so it's really cool. So Bill, I wanted to ask about the hat. I didn't see the last Jordan Love hat yet.
I didn't see the last one yet.
Yes, if you want to see Jordan Love's hat grow and grow and grow, you go to Packers Reddit. Oh my gosh. Oh, and way back when, Bill says, way back against Chicago week 1, he felt like he could see that Jordan was a guy. I just always believed he was. I mean, maybe that's my optimistic thinking type of thing. I mean, I had to believe that. What am I going to do? Believe, well, he's terrible. I mean, there were a lot of people who were saying that, but I was like, nah, he'll be fine. They know what they're doing.
Turns out. Yeah. And you're right, like cheering for this team, cheering for him was like,
sorry,
that's hilarious. It's just so easy to cheer for them, right? Because by the end of the Rodgers era, once he had like fully gone full kooky on, Pat McAfee, eventually with all the, vaccination stuff, it was hard to cheer for him. And I feel like I had to defend him to like family members who'd be like, why do you like this guy? I'd be like, come on, he's Aaron Rodgers. We love him, I don't feel like I gotta be like defending Love because he's so easy to cheer for. It's really great.
Yep.
Yep.
Well, I'm so excited. As a lot of people know, I've been kind of struggling with my health for a few months, so I'm really limited on what I can do. I had actually already signed up for a 5K on Sunday, which I seriously should not be doing. It was at a winery, like in the wine country, so I was going to go with my friend and, just do wine tasting afterwards, as you do after you do. Anyway, I don't think I'll be going, but I think it's too soon. And then Saturday, with the game being in Northern California, it's only a 7.5-hour drive. I mean, I should just go. I mean,
you should.
If I wasn't struggling this much with my health, I would totally. And then I was looking at the what do you call it? The pep rally. And I'm like, oh, and then I made plans with friends to go see the game at the local Packers bar here, the Roxy, which is really cool. And I'm like, nah, I can't do that either. I can't be around people. I'll have to wear like 5 masks. So I'm just like, I wanna celebrate so bad. I want to go out and watch the game with a million people and all that. But
Mhm.
maybe it'll be better just to, like, if they win, I'll be incoherent and like I was last week. Like I was incoherent for 2 days. So God knows how I will be if they win on Saturday.
Oh my God, I
I
know.
won't know what to do with myself.
Right. If they win, I'm gonna go bananas. And if they lose, I'll be like, you know what? This was an awesome season. And I'll be maybe a little sad, but
Exactly.
I'm not like
Right.
the years when we thought we were gonna be able to win it all. But
There was
Dawn,
those.
there was tickets as low as $163 for
Oh,
the
it's not the price. It's not, that's not holding me back. It's just the whole, like, I want to be alive for the like rest of the year. And I just, hey, by the way, you just said something. What was that that you said before the ticket price? I forgot.
that if we lose, it's gonna be like, yeah,
Oh,
that was a
right.
great season.
Remember
Exceeded
that.
expectations.
Remember our first season with this podcast when we did an emergency podcast
Because we were so
after we
distraught
beat the,
after after we won
no,
against like the Cardinals.
I think it was the Cardinals, right? And
Mhm.
we were going to go live after the 49ers, and
Yeah.
we couldn't do it because we were so distraught.
Yeah, exactly.
If we win Saturday, we have to go live. I think. I mean,
I'll go
what
for
else
it.
are we going to do? What else are we going to do?
I'll probably be sitting here watching the game because Saturday night, the tradition in our house is to like make pizza, watch a movie with the kids. I
Mhm.
can't disrupt that by watching the game on our TV. We only have one TV in the house, so it's like I can't disrupt that. And my wife basically let me know, but I was like, no, I know, I wasn't even going to ask. So I'll probably be watching the game here. It'd be just
Yeah.
as easy to flip on, onto StreamYard
Right.
here. We could definitely go live if we.
All right.
Yeah.
And if I get a last minute inkling to go somewhere, I can still go live.
Yeah.
Wherever my phone is, I can go live. So very cool. Yes, we had so much sadness, but we had it's always all about the expectations. Yeah.
Always.
Yep.
Exactly.
So
Katie, I
okay.
cried to my wife that same night, and she thought I was being an idiot. And I was like, "You don't understand this." It was hard. That was a hard one.
It
Yeah.
was very hard. It was very hard. Well, I have another. I'm just going to lace in my next superlative. How's that sound?
Yeah,
So I have
nice and
another one.
organic. I like that.
Yeah, and it actually could have laced it in initially because we were talking about Mike McCarthy, and how we're kind of sad for him. I was glad to hear he wasn't fired. I mean, I didn't like how he was sort of threatened before the game. That can't be helpful, like publicly,
Mhm.
right? You hear about that. So, but here I thought was kind of nice, and I know I'm a little bit of a sap.
Nothing wrong with that.
Dak Prescott is I like him. I'm rooting for
Sure.
him.
Yeah.
I'm not rooting for him over our team, but you know what I'm saying.
No,
As a
I
person,
got no problem with him. Yeah.
yeah. So I liked the way he stood behind his coach, Mike McCarthy,
Mhm.
right after the game in his press conference. So I just have a little clip, and it's just better than me trying to say it because
Go for it.
Amazing. I don't know how they can be, but I understand the business. In that case, it should be about me as well. Honestly, I mean that guy. I've had the season that I've had because of him. This team's had the success that they've had because of him, and I understand it's about winning the Super Bowl, and that's the standard of the league, and damn sure the standard of this place.
So I really liked how they said that. I mean, I think first of all, for the reporter to ask about McCarthy getting fired right after a
Mhm.
loss like that was kind of like, come on,
Yeah.
give the guy a break.
Yeah.
But he handled it really well, and he said, "Hey, then they should be looking at firing me too." And
Mhm.
he said he was amazing, and honestly, maybe that's all that team could do. Like, I don't know. I mean, maybe better coaching, who knows? Or different coaching. I shouldn't say better
I don't
coaching.
know.
Different characteristics. They're talking about bringing Belichick in. It's like, what's that going to accomplish? I don't know.
What's Belichick can do anywhere?
I know. I wish. I
I
don't
don't
know.
understand that, honestly.
Somebody said something about him going to the Chargers, and I'm like, oh, that is not going to happen. No, they won't have him.
He's
in
interviewed with
Saints.
the Falcons, right? I believe.
Mhm.
So I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't.
But the Falcons and weren't they talking about the Bears? Justin Fields going down to Atlanta, so maybe Justin Fields and Belichick can go to Atlanta. that
That's
could
like a
be
weird
interesting.
dream.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So that one was most loyal goes to Dak Prescott,
I love
and
that.
I like that. And I should have inserted it earlier when we were talking about our mic, but it was thought nice for him to stand behind him, and that's how it should be. And I think that's how Jordan Love would be too.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it's we
Classy.
like that.
Loyal.
Yeah,
Mhm.
we like that, those characteristics.
We sure do. My goodness.
Yes. All right. All right, Maddie, any superlatives that you brought today?
Oh, of course.
Of
Yeah,
course.
I'll start with one here. This was most fun. So, as we said before, the one of the problems with recording on Thursdays is that the content that comes out on Fridays and Saturdays can be forgotten by us by the next week when we're coming around to record again. So, a frequent casualty of that is Last Call Lambo, which is one of my favorite podcasts, and the one this last week. Like, I love this show. It's always fun, but like last Fridays was like a high water mark since Sam left, especially for the season. Because they had two amazing guests. They had both Matub, who remember was fantastic with us that night that he joined us, and Tyler Herrick, who was also great on our show.
Absolutely.
They're both such smart, funny, interesting people. So having both of them on there, I mean, the episode was like 2 hours long because they just kept going because they're having such a good time. But there became this this running joke where Tyler Herrick kept answering questions with Carl Brooks. And so about 2/3 of the way through the episode, Aaron basically asked, like, "Hey Matt, if you're listening, could you put together like a clip of like every time that Tyler said Carl Brooks?" And because the episode was so good, I thought, you know what, I can do this for them. So I spent the time to do that, and then I even made like a house dance music mix out of it too. So that's a whole different thing. Katie, of course, heard it, and she got drunk with them. That's right, Katie. Carl Brooks. So, anyhow,
I need to get back to watching that again. I used to.
Oh, the show's so good.
Yeah.
So not to make it about me. I mean, I realize I got into that a little bit there, but no, it's just a really, really funny episode. I feel like if there were like one episode to start off with that show, like that might be not the best one because it's 2 hours long. But if you're like, hey, you know what? I'm okay. I got 2 hours of podcast listening to like a long drive or something. Put that one on. It was really, really funny.
All right.
Such a good show.
I love it. So did you do the Carl Brooks? How many times did he say it?
Many. Yeah, actually, I don't have it like a lot of stuff on YouTube, but I did upload the Carl Brooks video because I then put Carl Brooks highlights along with the times of them saying Carl Brooks, and then also in making the video for the dance remix. You need some other stuff. If I had it handy, I'd maybe just play it on the show. But
I was going to say, I thought maybe you'd bring it, but
it is out on the YouTubes, so you can check it out there. But yeah.
All right, we'll check it out on the YouTubes. Yes.
So I have 2 more superlatives. You have 1 more, right?
I do.
So do you want to do yours, and I'll finish with my 2?
Well, mine was fun. So since you did a fun one, I'll do a fun one, and it goes to best mashup. I'm not sure if I'm using that. Is this the right word? Mashup. It's from Andy A. Pack. It's Go Pack Andy. Go Pack Go.
Oh, we talked about last week.
I know.
Yeah,
I know.
Awesome.
But come on. First of all, I love Parks and Recreation, like best show ever. And so he did this mashup where Ron Swanson was the 49ers. Tammy was the Packers, the ex-wife, right? And Tom Haverford, the Indian guy, was the Bears. And drunk Tammy was basically beating the pulp out of Tom. In fact, I wasn't even sure if it was Tom because I couldn't see him. She was hitting him about the head and he was on the ground. And so it's like, she's the Packers hitting Tom. And I mean, it was just too cute, too fun. I mean, it's kind of long form, so it was really well done. And what a great! And then Ron kind of saved Tom the Bears from it was from Tammy.
It was perfect.
So
It was
it
really
was
good.
perfect that the bludgeoning, that the game was. And I hate using those kind of like it's comparisons because it's so violent, but yeah, it was like that, and it was super funny. And if you like parks and recreation and you love football, this is the little video for you.
And the second week in a row, we've talked about Andy Apex stuff. Yeah,
So cute.
he's making some good content out there. I hope he keeps
Yeah,
doing
it's
it.
fun.
I'm really
It's
impressed.
really fun. Yeah, I had to have a fun one. I had a sappy one, a thought-provoking one, because it was so thought-provoking with Justice Miskin in 5 years from now. When we look back, I'm like,
Yeah,
wow, I
like
can
that.
only I really am an in the moment person. I don't
Mhm.
think about 5 minutes ago. So I was just like, oh, how profound, I
Mhm.
loved it. So he had another really good thought. I can't remember what else he had in that episode, but it was such a great episode, and you're going to talk about it more too, I believe. So
Yeah, well, that's the thing is like this is just a really short superlative since you talked a lot about the episode already, which is just that, best milestone for the week was definitely Pack a Day hitting 2,000 consecutive days, and it's not even 2,000 episodes because a lot of times it's 2 a day or even more sometimes, especially with like Andy doing like live stuff. So.
Mhm.
But for them to get like 2,000 consecutive days of doing this, and this is a
Right.
podcast like we both listen to a ton. I mean, when I was starting to get
Yeah.
into listening to Packers podcasts, it was the first one I latched onto.
Yeah.
And for good reason,
Yeah.
because it's consistently high quality across the days, whether it's like Andy's solo stuff, Andy with the guest, or like the rotating weekly crew of people, like consistently good. A great platform for a number of people who have used that to like then move on to other stuff or to flourish there.
Right. Spinoffs.
Spinoffs. There you go. So yeah, it's really cool that they've been that consistent for that long. So huge congratulations, not just to Andy, of course, like is the center of it, but for all the people who have worked on it, have done any number of episodes with them, whether they're regulars or whatever, like, to that whole crew, congratulations. That is outstanding.
It is outstanding. And I remember Justice asking, like, how many years is that? He's like, is that like 7 years? I just calculated almost 5.5 years straight. And now I'm feeling bad. When I was sick, what was it? Oh, the holiday. We could have just done like a 5-minute thing. And, it's like we could have done a video. I could have maybe just done a video.
The 1 week you missed. Yeah.
Oh, didn't think about that consecutive. Anyway. No.
It was the holidays. Most podcasts shut down that week anyhow. So
that's right. That's true. That's awesome. What else do you have?
Yeah, so I have one more then, and this was best hype. So
Oh my
there
God.
is a pair of rappers who go by Wisco Kids, right? And they did a hype song like 5 seasons ago, 4 or 5 or 6 seasons ago. I can't remember which season it was actually. Top of my head. But it was a great song. It was awesome. They out of nowhere came up with a new one, and it's called Believe in Love. And of course, love is like 10-0, 10 VE, like how Jordan Love like signs his name, right? And it's really good. It's a good hype track. It reminds me kind of like the Green and Yellow song, that Lil Wayne did. So kind of the same like feeling of like getting you excited about it.
Right.
I should come with that ready to play too. Actually, I wonder, can I
find it?
Play it from another tab? Here within StreamYard?
Just share your screen.
Okay.
Share your screen.
Let me pull it up then. Sure. Just give me a second here to find it.
Was it a hype for the Cowboys?
No, just basically for the Packers and
just in general. Oh, okay. Because I'm thinking I saw the one you're talking about, so I'm anxious. And by the way, in the chat, Charming Mocha 18. Do you know who that is? Katie.
Sorry. What? Don't, I was distracted. I'm sorry. What are you saying? I'm sorry.
Charming Mocha is in the house.
Who's Charming?
Jamie.
Jamie, I love you.
We were texting and I stopped answering her text and she pops up here. I'm like, now you know why I didn't answer. I was like, We
Oh
could
my
go
goodness.
we could go to Palo Alto. Katie.
All right. So
Katie's
I
here.
have this clip pulled up. Figure out the best way to do this. Just trying to figure this out as I'm going. And
Hey, Lorenzo.
folks who are listening, this is great podcasting. I know as I fumble around with technology, I'm going to give this a shot here, see if this works. Don, let me know if this is playing correctly. Okay, just a second here.
Okay.
So hopefully, the thing I'm wondering about is if the audio is going to share too. We'll find out. Here we go. Let's finish my screen.
Okay, chat, help us
And-
out here.
Screen, and we want to go with that.
You know, I'm
That's
a
good.
fair-minded
Hear it?
individual.
Sometimes.
And all the time, okay, I am fair. And let me say this to you, America. I thought the Packers were done. I said trash. When we thought this season was done, when we thought they were finished, they rose from the ashes.
Go Pack, go. Jordan Love, Aaron Jones. Bring that trophy home, let's go. Darnell Savage, that boy Savage. Christian Watson in the end zone. Alexander know he gon' handle business. Your wide receiver won't score. It's a Super Bowl this time. You know 10 good for 3 more. Jordan Love, Aaron Jones. Bring that trophy home, let's go. Darnell Savage, that boy Savage. Christian Watson in the end zone. Alexander know he gon' handle business. Your wide receiver won't score. It's a Super Bowl this time. You know 23 won't smoke. Green and yellow, green and gold. Another season in the cold. Another trophy on the shelf. Another ring, another belt. NFC getting checked. Last time that I checked. Never said we a threat. And Jordan playing like a vet. And no.
Ain't throwing no picks, he on the road, 100%. Win the hunt, coming equipped, championship coming again. Jay Reed setting records, 52 with the pressure weight. 23 going extra, number 7 he aggressive.
And don't run it past Preston. Matt LaFleur here blessing. Play calls been aggressive. Shout out K Nix, can't catch him. Alexander with the picks. Linebackers with the tricks. DJ Catley with the hits. Cause all we ever do is win. Jordan Love, Aaron Jones. Bring that trophy home, let's go. Darnell Savage, that boy Savage. Christian Watson in the end zone. Alexander know he gon' handle business. Your wide receiver won't score. It's a Super Bowl this time. You know 10 good for 3 more.
Won't smoke, won't smoke. The boy hurt, no Stokes. Matt LaFleur, that's the coach. Send dogs on the post.
J Love in the pocket. Drop back, he got options. Green and yellow never quit. Could never put us on the bench.
K Clark's run out. Valentine's up the route. Screaming RP Ted. We automatic in the red.
Too advanced, we ahead. Had a chance, we was dead. Brandon Tavy yet again, and now Swiss cheese for the bread. Jordan Love, Aaron Jones. Bring that trophy home, let's go. Darnell Savage, that boy Savage. Christian Watson in the end zone. Alexander know he gon' handle business. Your wide receiver won't score. It's a Super Bowl this time. You know 10 good for 3 more. Jordan Love, Aaron Jones. Bring that trophy home, let's go. Darnell Savage, that boy Savage. Christian Watson in the end zone. Alexander know he gon' handle business. Your wide receiver won't score. It's a Super Bowl this time. You know 10 good for 3 more.
Mr. Matt LaFleur himself has been coaching his butt off. I mean, look, I got to give respect where respect is due. They have answered the call.
Go Pack, go. Jordan Love, Aaron Jones. Bring that trophy home, let's go. Darnell Savage, that boy Savage. Christian Watson in the end zone. Alexander know he gon' handle business. Your wide receiver won't score. It's a Super Bowl this time. You know 10 good for 3 more.
The Green Bay Packers beat the dog shit out of the Dallas Cowboys.
I love it.
There's a swear at the end there.
Oh, I didn't hear
I mean,
it.
come on, let's go. That's so good. Wisco kids, folks.
That is so great.
Nice. That's good work. That's good work. Yeah, so they're using clips in there from the Cowboys game too. So it is like really recent, dropped this week. I forgot that they had that stuff right in there with it. Yeah, I mean the quality of the production, the rapping itself, the video with it, Trey Moore, I think is the guy who did that part of it.
Yeah.
Great
Beautiful.
work. And yeah, because they said Jordan was good for 3 more. Yeah. 3 more games. We got the 49ers, we got the NFC Championship game, we got the Super Bowl. Let's go.
I can't even. Oh my gosh.
So yeah, most hype. Great work, guys.
So hype. I love that. I didn't see it. And there'll be a link in the notes so I can put it on my YouTube. Yeah, perfect ending. Yeah, well, sort of. I don't know. It was a good ending.
I like the ending. I liked it.
It was good. It was good. I admit it. Yeah. The mouth. Anyway. Yeah. We're trying not to. I'm not going there. Okay. No negativity.
Good vibes only this week, especially.
Especially this week. Yeah. I know. So I was texting with the charming Mocha, and I'm like, but I can't do any of that. I can't even do the local thing. I can't. It's like I'll probably pick up some other virus and just keel over dead. Although I would be happy, but Tosh needs me. Tosh needs me so badly. So I would feel bad for Tosh if I croaked. Yeah.
My goodness. I got dark.
Sorry. No, I thought it was funny. All right. Oh, okay. Oh, so no, we don't hate you, Katie. You can watch him. That's fine.
Yeah,
He's
no,
just
he's
not my cup of
entertaining.
tea.
He's entertaining, that's for sure.
Jamie too. Yeah. No, I don't hate you. It's just not. I didn't like. Yeah, it's just not my cup of tea. And then with all the other stuff, it's like, nah.
Well, it's like tonight at
Other
dinner. One of my kids was saying how they didn't like, what was it? Some random food. I can't remember what we were talking about. And the rest was, oh no. My older kid was saying that they heard Cotton Eye Joe and really liked it. And my wife and I were like, that song's terrible, but you know what? That's okay if you like it. You're allowed to like a thing. We don't always have to like the same things. It's okay for people to like McAfee and you not to. It's all good, you know?
I mean, I listen to Club Shay Shay. Like, I mean, I listen to it's Nightcap now. Now they have the Nightcap with Ocho Cinco. So
yeah.
I mean, I love Ocho Cinco. I didn't know I loved Ocho. I mean, like I did not know I needed this man in my YouTube life. He's so fun.
Yeah.
I love everything about him.
You know, beloved by Cincinnati, that's for sure.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, and the Browns got put out, right? The Browns.
Yeah, so that's an interesting thing, right? Real quick take on that is with Flacco's kind of like, Cinderella story of coming back in and doing really well. Like that was exciting, but in the end, you're going to sign Deshaun Watson. You're not allowed to do well long term.
Right.
That's how it goes. That's how it goes.
It was like something happened. It was like sprinkle, sprinkle, sprinkle. That's as much joy as your team gets. Now you're done.
Yep.
I felt that way. I felt that for Flacco because he really was just, really just doing so well. It was crazy. But did you see his head when he took his helmet off? I mean, it was all bruised and
oh no.
I was worried for his head. It had maybe it was just tight and red, but it looked like a big bruise like across his whole helmet head.
Poor guy.
Sorry, I just messed up my hair. I can't look at my hair in the thing because it's opposite. Okay, podcast people, you have no idea what just happened. You don't need to know. It's okay. All right, Maddie. Well, any final thoughts before? Oh, I mean, I don't even want to hang up. I don't want to go. I just want Saturday to be here. Can we just do our we should just do our podcast until Saturday.
Just keep going. Continuous. Don, I think my final thoughts would just be like, sometimes you find $20 on the ground. Sometimes your favorite song comes on the radio, and sometimes your team does way better than you think it's going to. And it's not always going to be like that. You're not always going to find $20 on the ground. Your favorite song isn't always going to be on the radio. Your team isn't always going to be doing amazingly. And so there are times that we'll look back on later at some point. We're like, man, that was cool when that happened. So right now we're in the good old days. We're currently living
it'll be
the good old days. And so let's, let's just like soak it in and just drink it up and celebrate it. Cause I don't want this feeling to end. That's so good.
I know. I mean, I think that's why I didn't think about this. And Charmy Mocha says you need to stream every day until the game. And one of the reasons I don't see Last Call Lambo anymore is because I do my true crime trial watching podcast usually on Friday nights, or it's come to be my time. So I'm like, why am I never seeing that? That's why. So I might have to change my.
Well, that's not a live show though. That's just it goes out to the podcast feeds. So
okay.
That's unlike say Lombardi's Bar, which is Wednesday nights.
Oh,
it does go to podcast feeds. It's more fun to watch it live.
But Last Call isn't also on YouTube.
Nope.
Oh, okay.
Nope.
Okay. I thought it did.
So you can listen to that whenever.
Yeah. So Katie says for her final thought, this team has exceeded my expectations so much. I'm just enjoying this season.
Yes.
Same. Well said. Yes.
Well said. Any final thoughts from you before we sign off for today?
My only final thought is just thanks for the chats joining us. And hey, Mona, Nice to see you. I will be live tomorrow night. I think I'm doing better. Is it Thursday? I can't believe it's
Yes.
Thursday. It's been like that all week. So Lombardi's Bar, yeah, but
Yeah,
I was
that's the
thinking,
Wednesday
I
night
thought
show
they were
thing.
both. I thought they were both. Anyway.
Turns out,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So
No, I think my final thought is just, hey, I think I'm with the chat. Like, and this is how I've been all season and even before the season. It's just enjoy the ride. It's a young team. They've exceeded my expectations already, and much health and happiness and success to all of them, the team, the coaches, the organization. I'm just super happy with everything that they've done and the way that they've done it. It's just been flawless, really.
yep.
Yeah.
I like how Jamie put this in the chat. The future is here and it's exciting. Yes, it is. And like you're saying, Dawn, the chat was really like extra high quality tonight, folks. Thanks so much for coming by. It means a lot to us that people come by to be part of the chat and participate, and they even watch or listen at all. So thank you to all of you very, very much. All right, Dawn, should I get to the ending here?
Yes, let's bring her home. It's sad, but we have to go.
I know, right? This has been a
Yes.
fun one. Friends, of course. My friends, of course. You'll find links in our show description for everyone we mentioned, so please check it out. Also, we'd love to have a chance to interview you and shout you out if you're a subscriber and a football fan. If you'd like to nominate someone to be a guest on our podcast, please let us know. Our DMs are open on all the social platforms. And folks, when you subscribe to our podcast, you help us keep spreading the love in our community. The best way to help this podcast grow is by sharing it with your friends and family.
Yes, Maddie, that's right. Because we love you. We're so glad to know you, to be fans of you, and have the luxury of being fans of the most storied team in the NFL. We appreciate your support, your subscriptions, and sharing our pod. And we look forward to seeing you next week on
Hey, we like your pod.
Football in general comes down to discipline and people owning their roles. And when you aren't disciplined or you go outside the scheme, bad stuff happens.